Today we're going to have a look at the preliminary core 2, the body in motion, and more specifically exploring the skeletal system. The human skeleton has 206 bones in it. The arrangement of these bones enables 5 main functions, including support for the body, giving it shape, form and posture, protection of vital organs and soft tissues, movement of the body by providing the attachment for muscles and being able to serve as levers, production of blood cells in the marrow cavities, and storage for essential minerals such as calcium and phosphorus. Bones range in shape and size, a feature that allows them to perform specialised functions. There are 3 main types of bones: long bones, short bones, and flat bones. Long bones are longer than they are wide and they function as levers in the body. Short bones have a short axis and are found in small spaces such as the wrist. They serve to transfer forces. Flat bones have a broad surface and serve as places of attachment for muscles and to protect vital organs. The outer part of the bone consists of dense, strong, compact bone tissue and forms the actual shaft of long bones. At the end of the bone, there is a spongy tissue network called cancellous bone. The cancellous bone is light but able to withstand stress. In the centre of the bone is the bone marrow. Bone marrow contains blood vessels, fat and blood-forming tissue. At the end of the bone, and where the bone meets other bones, is the articular cartilage. The cartilage is soft but allows the bone to move freely with the other bone. An anatomical reference system called directional terms is used to identify the locations of bones. The starting point always assumes that the body is in the anatomical position, that is, facing forward. Superior direction is towards the head. For example, the chest is superior to the hips. The inferior direction is towards the feet. For example, the foot is inferior to the leg. The anterior position means towards the front. For example, the kneecap or patella is on the anterior side of the knee joint. The posterior position is towards the back. For example, the backbone is posterior to the heart. The medial position is towards the midline of the body. For example, the big toe is on the medial side of the foot. And the lateral position is towards the side of the body. For example, the little toe is on the lateral side of the foot. The proximal position is towards the body's mass. For example, the shoulder is proximal to the elbow. The distal position is away from the body's mass. For example, the elbow is distal to the shoulder. Now we'll have a look at the major bones involved in movement, starting from the feet. The foot is made up of the phalanges, metatarsals and tarsals. The tarsals are the short bones in the ankle, and the metatarsals and phalanges are the long bones in the foot and the toes. They work as a unit, providing structure that enables leg movements, including walking, running, balancing, hopping, and kicking. As we move up the body, we get to the bones in the lower leg. The tibia is the long bone at the front of the leg, and the fibula is the skinnier bone at the back of the leg. A way to remember these two is that the fibula is hiding behind the tibia bone because it's been telling fibs. Moving up the leg to the knee joint, and we see what we call the patella. The patella or the kneecap is a small flat triangular bone which main role is to provide protection to the knee joint. Moving up the body from the knee joint, we then move to the upper half of the leg, which includes the femur bone is the largest and strongest bone in the body. The bone is covered by large muscles that extend from the pelvic girdle to the shin, and it enables many movements such as running and kicking. Moving across the body, we come to what we call the pelvic girdle. The pelvic girdle is comprised of 5 parts. We have the sacrum, which is where the spine attaches to the girdle. We have the ilium, which is the top of the pelvic girdle. The coccyx, otherwise known as our tailbone. The pubis, which is the point at the front here in which the girdle connects. And then the ischium, which is the bottom end of the girdle. We will now move to the upper limb, which includes the bones of the hand, arm, elbow and shoulder. Having a look at the hand, we have the phalanges in the fingers, we have the metacarpals in the hand, and in the wrist we have what we call the carpals. Sometimes students get confused between the carpals in the hand and the tarsals in the feet. An easy way to remember is that the T for tarsals is similar to T for toes, so the tarsals are in the feet because they're obviously associated with the toes. Moving up the arm from the hand, we have the bones in the forearm. The radius is the long bone in the forearm, which is found on the thumb side of the hand, and it provides structure for the hand and allows it to rotate the elbow joint. So just remember that the radius is attached to the thumb and it allows the arm to rotate. The ulna is the long bone in the forearm, which connects to the finger side of the hand. We now move from the lower arm to the upper arm, where we see the elbow joint connected to the shoulder joint. The humerus bone is the major long bone in the upper arm, joining the shoulder to the elbow. It can move in most directions and can even rotate the shoulder joint, which might be required for swimming. From the upper arm, we move across to the shoulder joint. The scapula, or shoulder blade, is a large triangular flat bone. The scapula and clavicle structure allows the arm to attach to the trunk portion of the skeleton. There are many muscles involved in the movement to attach to this bone. The clavicle, or collarbone more commonly known, is a long bone that provides attachment between the shoulder girdle and the vertebral column. It gives greater mobility to the shoulder joint when movement is taking place, such as throwing a ball. There are other bones in the body which are not considered major bones involved in movement, but are still important to know. These bones include the ribs, the sternum, and the vertebral column. The ribs provide vital protection for organs in the upper half of the body. The sternum connects the ribs together, and the vertebral column provides support and structure for the whole body. We now move from the chest area up to the skull region. The mandible, or commonly known as the lower jaw, is at the bottom of the skull, and the top of the skull is called the cranium. The cranium is made up of several flat bones sutured together. To complete this lesson, you will need to visit our Edpuzzle classroom to answer the questions in order to show your understanding of video content.